Congresswoman, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
We are so glad you are here. Congresswoman, should the House of Representatives begin impeachment proceedings against President Trump?
I think they should begin the impeachment inquiry, which will eventually lead to impeachment if the inquiry proves that it should.
Do you think that he has committed high crimes or misdemeanors or has done something that may be impeachable?
I do.
What particular things do you think?
I think he has obstructed justice. Well, there are 11 times and 11 reasons where he incidents cited in the Mueller report where he's obstructed justice. And I really was not moving towards impeachment so fast, but after the Judiciary Committee and the Financial Services Committee and the Oversight Committee began to subpoena witnesses, and President Trump stepped in to block those witnesses from testifying. He was disrespectful to Congress and disrespectful to the global community.
And of the Constitution?
And of the Constitution, number one. So, for that reason, I feel that we need to move forward because he's not going to cooperate with us. And then we have a Senate and we have Republican House members who are siding with him. They don't see anything wrong with his disrespect. So we have to stand up and say to the American people, you elected us to protect the Constitution. We took a vow. We do that every 2 years. And we have to find a way to get around this disrespect. It is unconscionable. The President of the United States has brought this country to its knees.
Congresswoman, when Special Counsel Robert Mueller went on television this week, having said what we just heard him say in the open to our show, that's when a lot of people who are on the fence about calling for impeachment cross that fence. But really, the special counsel didn't say anything that we didn't already know, having seen and reported on the report. So why do you think actually hearing from him was a game changer for so many? There's really nothing new on that account.
Well, that was a game changer for so many, but that wasn't a game changer for me. The game changer for me was the subpoenas. And I have never, and I don't think anyone within the sound of my voice has ever seen such disrespect. I mean, you are a subpoena, you issue a subpoena to a person, an individual, a citizen, to come and testify before a congressional committee, and you say, I'm not coming? I mean, first of all, you don't even have to issue the subpoena. You just ask them to come, and they're supposed to come. We interview people at congressional committees every single solitary day.
But as a tool, the Senate, the impeachment proceedings, by all accounts, will stop in the Senate. It will not be successful. So as a tool, wouldn't an impeachment process that ends with acquittal be a win for the president?
Well, if the president is impeached, that is a scar on him forever, for the rest of his life. A president who has been impeached, and he will bear that scar regardless, that is an indictment that we will send to the Senate. If the Senate fails to put him on trial or finds him guilty, he is still an impeached president.
Congresswoman, your colleague Nancy Pelosi, House Speaker, even this morning in California, is essentially saying, let's go slow because it would make him kind of a political martyr. It would, allow him, as Lena says, to say, look, they tried to get me, all the left came after me, and they couldn't do it, and I am exonerated. So, I mean, if you speak to Nancy Pelosi, what would you say?
Well, listen, you have to understand now, the media follows Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what he says. When he comes out of the White House to get on his helicopter, they're waiting.
Right.
So he says, no collusion, obstruction. I'm innocent. It's a witch hunt. So that's what people see and that's what people hear. So as elected officials, we have a responsibility to communicate to our constituents that he's lying. Okay, that's number one. And we have to also say that we're not on a move to impeach him, that this is an impeachment inquiry into his misbehavior and whether we should proceed with impeachment. That's what you see in the news now. That's who these people are. This is who the progressives, and I'm a progressive. This is what we're saying. Let's open an impeachment inquiry. And the reason we're going to open impeachment inquiry because we were trying to go slow. We were calling in witnesses before the major committees. Right. There are 3 major committees. Well, it's really 4. You have Ways and Means, you have Judiciary, you have Financial Services, and you have Oversight. So as these witnesses are called in to speak and testify, they're sending messages that they will come, and then the president says, no one is coming. What do you do?
Yeah, well, he's exerting executive privilege. Bottom line here is when the president says he was exonerated by the Mueller report, Mr. Mueller, in fact, this week, that was the headline. He said if we had found the evidence that no crime, no obstruction had been committed, we would have said so.
We would have said so.
And what is the plain language of what he said?
Well, that means it's our responsibility. I have a responsibility to District 24. I am going to do the best I can to explain to them why we need to open an impeachment inquiry.
But there are a lot of your constituents, you told me when you arrived here this morning, a lot of your constituents are saying to you, why isn't he impeached? Why is he still in office?
When are we going to get rid of President Trump?
You go.
So there are others who, the polls, people live by polls. I live by personal face-to-face conversations. I'm a woman who's overbearingly in my district. Every time I'm home, I talk to people all the time. And I have teletown hall meetings, which I plan to have. A teletown hall meeting with 10,000 people listening to my voice, explaining to them, and they being able to ask me questions as to what is going on. But trust me, I do not want impeachment to consume my legislative agenda. I have other projects and bills that I'm trying to pass, and we're approaching hurricane season.